unnecessarily activate its brakes, which could cause a massive hazard in cities. Tesla's lawyers argued unsuccessfully that Autopilot was not designed for city traffic. 366. In September 2022, a class action lawsuit was filed in the U.S. District Court, Northern California, alleging that for years, Tesla has deceptively and misleading marketed its ADAS technology as autonomous driving technology under various names, including Autopilot, Enhanced Autopilot, and Full Self-Driving Capability. Adding that Tesla represented that it was perpetually on the cusp of perfecting that technology and finally fulfilling its promise of producing a fully self-driving car, while Tesla knew for years its statements regarding its ADAS technology were deceptive and misleading, but the company made them anyway. 367. 368. Tesla filed a motion in November 2022 to dismiss the case, defending the company's actions as mere failure to realize a long-term, aspirational goal of a fully self-driving car, and not fraud, basing the motion on the private arbitration clause in the purchasing contract signed by each buyer. 369. 370. A second class action lawsuit was filed in the same court by Tesla shareholders in late February 2023. 371. The complaint alleges the defendants had significantly overstated the efficacy, viability, and safety of Tesla's Autopilot and FSD technologies, and those same systems created a serious risk of accident and injury, which subjected Tesla to an increased risk of regulatory and governmental scrutiny and enforcement action, linking multiple specific accidents to documented decreases in share prices. 372. In April 2023, Tesla was found not liable in a lawsuit filed in 2020 by a driver who sued for damages after she claimed the Autopilot system guided her Tesla Model S into a curb, resulting in an airbag deployment and facial injuries. 373. Jurors explained in post-trial interviews that Autopilot never confessed to be self-pilot. It's not a self-driving car. Tesla were adamant about a driver needing to always be aware. 374. Additional lawsuits have been filed by the estates of two drivers killed in 2019 while using Autopilot, one in California and one in Florida. In the California case, which had not previously been reported, Tesla has argued the driver had consumed alcohol and it is not clear that Autopilot was engaged. Winking sad smiley. 375. The plaintiff's lawyers alleged that a known defect in the Autopilot system had caused the vehicle to veer off a highway at 65 miles per hour, 105 kilometers per hour, and strike a palm tree. 376. Tesla prevailed in that case, with the jury voting 9-3 in October 2023 that there was no manufacturing defect. 377. False or misleading advertising. I don't think that something should be called, for example, an autopilot. When fine print says you need to have your hands on the wheel and eyes on the road at all times. The Center for Auto Safety and Consumer Watchdog wrote to the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, in 2018, asking them to open an investigation into the marketing of Autopilot. The letter stated the marketing and advertising practices of Tesla, combined with Elon Musk's public statements, have made it reasonable for Tesla owners to believe, and act on that belief, that a Tesla with Autopilot is an autonomous vehicle capable of self-driving. 379. The groups renewed their appeal to the FTC and added the California DMV in 2019. 380. Noting that Tesla continues to be the only automaker to describe its Level 2 vehicles as self-driving and the name of its Pete Buttigieg, U.S. Secretary of Transportation, interview with Associated Press, May 2023, 378. Driver Assistance Suite of Features, Autopilot, connotes full autonomy. 381. U.S. Senators Ed Markey, DeMar, and Richard Blumenthal, DCT, echoed these concerns to the FTC in 2021. 382. A 2019 IIHS study showed that the name Autopilot causes drivers to misperceive behaviors such as texting or taking a nap to be safe, versus similar Level 2 driver assistance systems from other car companies. 383. In 2020, UK safety experts called Tesla's Autopilot especially misleading. 384. Tesla's use of the terms autopilot and FSD were criticized in a May 2020 report published on Science Direct titled Autonowashing, the Greenwashing of Vehicle Automation. 385. In 2021, following more than a dozen autopilot crashes, some fatal, the U.S. Department of Justice, DOJ, started a criminal investigation to determine if Tesla misled consumers, investors, and regulators about Autopilot. 386. Tesla confirmed the DOJ had requested Autopilot and FSD-related documents in its 10-K filing for 2022. 387. The Securities and Exchange Commission also opened an independent civil probe into statements made by Tesla and its executives about Autopilot. 388. 389. In July 2022, the California DMV filed 2 complaints with the State Office of Administrative Hearings that alleged Tesla made or disseminated statements that are untrue or misleading, and not based on facts relating to the autopilot and full self-driving technologies. 390, 391, 392. In August 2022, Tesla requested a hearing to present its defense. 393. In September 2022, California Governor Gavin Newsom signed State Bill SB 1398, 394, which took effect January 1, 2023 and prohibits any manufacturer or dealer of cars with partial driver automation features from using misleading language to advertise their vehicles as autonomous, such as by naming the system full self-driving. 395, 396. NSA investigations. According to a document released in June 2021, NSA has initiated at least 30 investigations into Tesla crashes that were believed to involve the use of autopilot, with some involving fatalities. 397, 398. In August 2021, the NSA Office of Defects Investigation, ODI, opened a preliminary evaluation, PAY, designated PAY 21-020 and released a list of 11 crashes involving Tesla vehicles striking stationary emergency vehicles. In each instance, NSA confirmed that autopilot or traffic-aware cruise control were active during the approach to the crashes. Of the 11 crashes, 7 resulted in 17 total injuries, and 1 resulted in 1 fatality. The scope of the planned evaluation of the autopilot system specifically addressed the systems used to monitor and enforce driver engagement. 399. In September 2021, NSA added a 12th accident in Orlando from August 2021 to the investigation list. 400. NSA sent a request for information relating to PAY 21-020 to Tesla's Director of Field Quality in August 2021. Their response was due by the 22nd of October 2021. 401, 402. In September 2021, NHTSA sent a request for information to Tesla and other automobile manufacturers for comparative ADAS data. 403, 404, 405. After Tesla deployed its emergency light detection update in September 2021, NHTSA sent a follow-up letter to Tesla in October 2021 asking for a chronology of events, internal investigations, and studies that led to the deployment of the update 406, as it potentially addressed a safety defect, which requires a formal recall. 407. List of crashes in NHTSA ODI preliminary evaluation, pay 21-020, 399. Date city / county state notes / refs Jan 22, 2018 Culver City, California. Tesla struck a stationary fire truck on southbound I-405. 408, May 29, 2018 Laguna Beach, California. Tesla struck a stationary patrol vehicle on Laguna Canyon Road at 11:07 a.m. 409, later removed from investigation as patrol vehicle was parked out of right-of-way and emergency lights were not active. 410, December 7, 2019 Norwalk, Connecticut. Tesla struck a stationary police cruiser with its emergency lights flashing on I-95 near exit 15. Driver stated he had been checking on his dog in the back seat. 411, December 29, 2019 Cloverdale, Indiana. Tesla struck a stationary fire truck on I-70 near mile marker 38. Passenger in Tesla was killed. 412, Jan 22, 2020 West Bridgewater, Massachusetts. Tesla struck a stationary patrol vehicle at 10 p.m. on Route 24. Driver stated that autopilot was engaged. 413, July 14, 2020 Cochise County, Arizona. Tesla struck a stationary patrol vehicle at 3 a.m. on I-10 near Benson, Arizona. 414, August 26, 2020 Charlotte, North Carolina. Tesla struck a stationary patrol vehicle on US 64 near the border of Nash and Franklin counties. Driver was watching a movie. 415, February 27, 2021 Montgomery County, Texas. Tesla struck a stationary police cruiser at 1:15 a.m. on the Styx Freeway near East River Road. 416, March 17, 2021 Lansing, Michigan. Tesla struck a stationary patrol car at 1:10 a.m. on I-96 in Eaton County. 417, May 19, 2021 Miami, Florida. Tesla struck a stationary Florida Department of Transportation Road Ranger truck at 5:30 a.m. on I-95 near 103rd Street. 418, July 10, 2021 San Diego, California. Tesla struck a stationary patrol car at 1:45 a.m. on State Route 56. 419. In February 2022, NHTSA ODI opened a second preliminary evaluation, pay 22-002, for phantom braking in 2021-2022 Tesla Model 3 and Model Y vehicles. 420, pay 22-002 was correlated to the removal of radar hardware from those vehicles in May 2021. At the time pay 22-002 was opened, NHTSA was not aware of any crashes or injuries resulting from the complaints. 421, according to some complaints, while using autopilot, rapid deceleration can occur without warning, at random, and often repeatedly in a single drive cycle. 420. The Washington Post also published an article detailing the surge in complaints to NHTSA over false positives to its automatic emergency braking system. 422. By May 2022, NSA had received 758 reports of unexpected braking when Autopilot was in use and requested that Tesla respond to questions by the 20th of June 2022. 423, 424, also in June 2022, NSA ODI upgraded Pay 21-020 to an engineering analysis EA, and designated it as EA 22-002, covering an estimated 830,000 Tesla vehicles sold between 2014 and 2000.